Beer Authority, better beer.
Hi, I'm Andrew Lewandowski, and this is your Better Beer Authority's Top 10 Beers of 2014. Today, we're going to go over the beers that us here at the BBA and you, the fans, have voted as your favorite from all the beers we reviewed last year. Just like last year, we put a list on Facebook and wanted your input as well on what you enjoyed. We decided to stick with only the blind taste test reviews, so BBA Live and BBA Solo videos were excluded in the list. We certainly tried a wide range of beers, and kicking us off at number 10 is a local brewery with a very special release, Devil's Backbone with their 16-point Imperial IPA.
That's fine. With this beer, it's going to keep me right in that wheelhouse. Enjoy it. I'm getting, there is some sweetness at the beginning, but there's that hoppy bitterness that's flowing right through, and so yes, I'm enjoying it.
At number 9 was one of the very first beers we reviewed as the new East Coast BBA crew, and it certainly left a big impression. Founders Imperial Stout.
So I wanted to bring this beer because it's a highly regarded stout. It's a perfect time of year for this stout.
Mm-hmm. Oh, without a doubt.
Also, if you remember,
this is great. Let's have some more.
Founders KBS was the 2013 BBA Beer of the Year, so I wanted to follow it up. We've done Breakfast Stout from a few years back. We've done KBS, and I thought Imperial Stout was like the next way to go.
The next one is a bit of a swan song of sorts, as it's no longer going to be produced by the brewery, but we have been told that its replacement will be no slouch. Number 8 is Double DBA from Firestone Walker.
This is going to be the first 10 that I'm going to give on the show.
Nice.
And
Hold on. Selfie time. I'm sorry. It's the first 10. We're doing a selfie, guys.
come on, I get interrupted. What is this?
Wait, here we go.
That's not a
it.
selfie, dumbass.
Alright, here we go. Now I got this. Hold the beer up. Alright. Alright. There we go. Look for this picture on Facebook.
7th on this list was a bit of a surprise for both myself and the crew, as they were thinking Imperial and barrel notes were there where there actually was none. Quite an impressive feat. Maumee Bay Brewing Company's Total Eclipse Breakfast Stout comes in next on the list.
I'm going to give it a 9 also, and this is potentially, if this is not barrel aged, the second time I've been tricked into thinking it's barrel aged. The other was when we did Cigar City's Hunapus.
Right.
And there was so much complexity in it, and I think that's maybe the complexity of the malts and just the alcohol, and also the kind of smoothness of this beer is maybe getting me to think that it's a little bit barrel aged. But if it's not, it's super impressive, and again, this is up there with some of the best Imperial Stouts that I've had.
Our next 5 beers were so close in the rankings, they were only separated by 5 points. Richard brought us the next beer on our list from one of his many trips to the West Coast. We still don't get these guys yet out in Virginia, but hopefully that changes pretty soon. Number 6 is Alesmith Speedway Stout.
But you know what? Fuck it. I'll give it a 9. It's a good beer. No, because besides that, that's like the only bad point that I can say about it. Everything else, you said, hey, this is like chocolate and coffee, but no, there's none of that in there. This is just really well-made beer. So hey, I'm gonna give it the rating that it deserves. So I'll give it a 9.
I said there's no chocolate in it.
Exactly. I said no chocolate. So I was like, well, how can you get so much chocolate out of it when there's not? So it's like, what are you doing?
Number 5 just edged it out with a big, impressive porter. As David Hartog's last review, he certainly went out with a bang. From Hill Farmstead, Everett Porter is next on our list.
I have not had anything from Hill Farmstead myself, so I'm very, very happy to try. Probably be this my first one. I would love to try and get my hands on more. Like I said, piggybacking on an order, or like I said, doing a road trip at some point would be a lot of fun.
It would be a lot of fun. All right, well, cheers, guys. Everett would have gotten a 9 on the BBA scale had Brian had a better palate, but Everett gets an 8 on the BBA scale. Have you had donuts and beer? Have you had Hill Farmstead? Have you been to Blue Jacket for their donut and beer pairings? I'm David Hartog, and this is your Better Beer Authority.
The next beer on the list was one of the early introductions into sour beers for the BBA, and damn, did we like it. Richard brought in a good one. Cascade's Apricot Ale comes in at number 4.
I'm getting, again, a lot of tart, funky, barnyard qualities.
the lemon, the apricot potentially. Most recently, I had the pleasure to try Cantillon's Fufun, and that's a huge compliment to compare this beer to that, but there's a lot of similar elements with the apricot and citrus flavors. For rating, I'm giving it a 9. I think it's an excellent beer. I'd recommend to anybody who loves sours. It's a sipper, and I think even though it's probably relatively low ABV, you really want to take your time with this beer.
Now we get with the heavy hitters, our top 3 of the year. Third is a beer steeped in recent controversy this past year and his famed release day, but somehow David Martinez landed a few bottles for us. Here's hoping this year's Hunapus Day goes off without a hitch. Number 3 is Hunapus Imperial Stout from Cigar City.
I'm going to give it a 9, and really it's kind of where Rich is coming at this at. It's that complexity. It's when you know there's almost like 3 components to it when you're tasting and you're sipping it. It's certainly that sweetness. It's kind of there's that bitterness is probably the chocolates. There's probably hops going on in there as well. But then as you know, Rich was kind of going through the tasting. He's try this, and you do pick up that bourbon character. What we think it is that bourbon character as the third and final taste that you get. So I give it a 9. I love that complexity. I love those differences as you're tasting, and especially it warms up too. It's a nice solid beer.
Number 2 is one of those beers that everyone seems to love and always seems to live up to the hype. We at the BBA loved it, and you guys voted it quite highly as well. The ever-popular Zombie Dust from 3 Floyds takes number 2.
Zombie Dust is one of my favorite
for that,
beer.
right? I did just trade for Zombie Dust, and here I am drinking it. It's really funny because I've had this before, but I didn't think it was Zombie Dust. Isn't that? Oh,
it's very good.
My palate.
What I get, I think Zombie Dust has more of this kind of candy sugar.
That's
not in the sweet
sweetness
way, but it's
about.
like this kind of very citrusy, orangey, and I don't get that as much with the Pseudo-Sue. Pseudo-Sue is much drier.
Yeah.
And I actually prefer Zombie Dust to the two, especially as I've had them now side by side.
Yeah.
So.
The top spot on our list wasn't even close. It was a top beer for nearly every member of the BBA, and rightfully so. We never really experienced a beer quite like this one, and it was a huge surprise. The fruit notes on this were so damn good, and they make for an awesome, awesome beer. Be sure to keep a lookout for our number 1 beer of 2014, Cabernet Barrel-Aged Laika Russian Imperial Stout from Alabama's Straight to Ale.
I'm actually, just like I mentioned, very impressed because I really haven't heard much of any craft breweries out in Alabama. I know like Good People, Snake Handler IPA, I mean, that's a great IPA, but other than that, I never thought of anything that would stand out. You give me this without me knowing what it is, and I think this is delicious, and I'm impressed. I really am. I'm surprised, impressed, and I would definitely have this again.
And Andrew, does this make you want to go down to Alabama and see what other craft breweries are down there?
Oh, absolutely. Without a doubt. And he said I'd have to kind of look at it on a map, but I could definitely visit this place, grab a couple of whatever they have on available, bottled, canned, however they distribute, make my way down to Gulf Shore and kind of waste away the weekend. So.
And that wraps up our 2014 top 10. What were some of your favorites from last year? Any beers you think we should try for 2015? It's been a really fun year for the BBA, and we look forward to another awesome year of reviews. For everyone here at the BBA, I'm Andrew Lewandowski, and this has been your Better Beer Authority. Thanks for watching.
Better Beer Authority, Better Beer Authority.